Hello, friends, and welcome to the Purple Mountain podcast. We're live tonight on Facebook, and hello if you're watching on YouTube, and hello anybody who's listening to us on Spotify as well. So we want to send lots of love to everybody, wherever you're listening to us, wherever you're seeing us or hearing us. We're really grateful to share this time with you. Myself and Stephen will be talking on this video about the importance of water. So we're continuing with our health and well-being talk this evening, and we'll be sharing what knowledge we've gained from the spirit world, from our own individual knowledge that we've been able to gain through our journey, and hopefully sharing it with all of you of one of the most basic and fundamental things that our body needs and requires, water. So Stephen, as we start this evening, just want to say anybody who wants to ask questions who are live with us, you can do that. We just want to thank everybody for joining us again and send lots of love to everyone. But as we start this evening, Stephen, the importance of water, we've done a lot of work at the Purple Mountain over the years on it, in different areas. And where do we begin?
Well, I think what would be great to sort of start off with is a little bit about. We could talk about the benefits of water later on in the video, but I think it would be really great a little bit about who we are, particularly for those that are listening for the first time, and sort of us at the Purple Mountain, which will link in to the importance of water and why we promote the importance of water. And that's important because we run what we call the Purple Mountain in Fleetwood, and we also run a health and wellbeing clinic. And one of the things that we always try to promote within all our clients and all the people that we encounter and speak to is always try to instill in people by drinking water, drinking up to 2-3 liters of water a day, and really the benefits of drinking water. And really very simply, that water is a medicine. That's something that I really want to sort of instill with everybody. Water is a medicine. There's clinics around the world that just heal people using water. We call that hydrotherapy using water to heal the physical body. So really, that's what I really want to start off with. Is it's one of the most important medicines that we try to promote. So even before we have people that go on our healing beds, that have medicine work, go through a self-healing journey, we always try to inspire and guide and empower people to make lifestyle changes. And again, we're going back to setting intention. I think people can only set intention, Chris, if they really believe in the importance of drinking water. And that's why when people,
if they really mean it,
if they really mean it, because you find often, we have clients that come to us at the Purple Mountain very regularly that start off really well, and I feel that they don't set the intention strong enough, and often they fall back to their old habits, their old ways. They go back to their old roots.
I think it comes under, like most things, it's consistency. And I think it's very important with water, just as a basic, is being consistent. It's like with anything, it's no good saying, well, I haven't had enough water today, I'm going to go into the kitchen and drink 3 pints of water now. And because that won't be very good for your body. It is keeping that consistency up throughout the day, because as I'm sure we'll explain at some point, that you're not just drinking for that day, you're drinking for the next day already.
Oh, absolutely. And I believe as well that it shouldn't be a chore. And that's where I think a lot of people, particularly when it comes to diets, and I don't like using the word diet at all. I think it's such a negative word, because diet, unfortunately, is also used mainly now, particularly in the media, in social media, as nutritionist, dietitian, as a form of losing weight. And actually, diet should most importantly encompass healthy eating, that the health and well-being. Just because you're skinny, it doesn't mean that you're more healthy than somebody that might be a little bit maybe carry a little bit more extra weight. I put it polite.
I think a good place to start, Stephen, would be the source of our water. What is the best source of water to consume? There's a lot of people now. There's some people who might drink from the tap or use some sort of filtration system. There are others, I'm sure, who buy bottled, glass bottle, plastic bottle. There's many different forms in which we can we get our water. So it's I feel a good place to start of where do we get our water from? What's the best source?
You make a good point there. And I think as well, going back, and I'll answer that question in a moment, that people need, and I've tried to impress people as well, because we've done our own research. We incorporate, which we'll talk about later on in this interview, in this discussion, we'll talk about what we've done at the Purple Mountain, what we've done at home to incorporate our own what I call a water regime. It's a regime that should be very effortless, that should be very, very natural. It's like I said, it's a very powerful medicine in itself, drinking water. But sort of to your question there, Chris, ultimately, there are different parts to your question. And there is a lot of misinformation out there, unfortunately. You know, you'll read things that will say, stay away from drinking from the tap, which I know I've done my own research on that. There are hundreds of different chemicals and processes in our drinking water, many chemicals that are not even spoken about, that aren't even published.
Am I right in saying
you're not even being told about them?
Yeah, you can't find out.
You can't find out fully. So I mean, I don't want to go into politics tonight or conspiracy theories.
Definitely not. No politics.
Definitely not. But I find tap water good, okay, and also I find that mineral water, or what we call bottled water, is a very pure form of drinking water. But then you've got to consider the environmental costs of plastic. So really, sort of consciously and morally, you've got to make a decision that you feel is right for you. And another good way of maybe looking after the environment and the earth is not creating your own water, but processing your own water using things like crystals, hydrotherapy machines, oxygen machines, or you can put extra oxygen into the water. So I feel, sort of answering that question, Chris, I think there's benefits, there's pros and cons in what we call bottled water to tap water. I know that what we do, the water that we take from the tap, we know it's what we call dead water. So what we do to the water, so anybody that's listening tonight, what we do to our water, what we call reactivate the water. Because water is flowing, it's energy. Water has its own life force, its own energy force. And unfortunately, what man has done through the process of water, we know that water has to be cleaned. On the hygiene side, on the health and safety side, we know, there's been massive improvements over the past 200 years in the cleanliness of our water and the importance of looking after our water. But then we've gone from one extreme to the other. I think we maybe have contaminated our water. And again, everybody looks at things very physically. And I think there's a spiritual life force, Chris. There is an energy in water that loses its potency, because we don't just drink water, we drink energy. Yeah. So tap water has lost its energy force. So what we do, you can use things like sound manipulation. You can incorporate things like shungite crystals, rose quartz, clear quartz, black obsidian, by reactivating the energy centers and vibration of the water that you drink.
It's very interesting that. I mean, we were in contact with a couple of people. We know there's work in Europe there with a lot of people experimenting with sound, vibrations, and water. and now it can alter it, lift the vibrations of the water, and also using lights as well. So there's so much more, but yeah, it's I feel, I mean, obviously in these discussions we're only here to share our thoughts. So Stephen's quite right. Do what you feel to be right. As with everything, follow your feelings. We expect nothing less, really. But for me, I actually I changed the way I consume my water quite a few years ago. And where I was living at the time, I was very aware of the smell when I turned the tap on. And it was like I could smell like a bleach. That's how it smelled to me.
Well, it's actually the chlorine. That's the chlorine. Yeah. So it's a chemical.
Yeah, which is a bleach in itself, really.
Yeah.
And it was so strong that I just didn't want to be drinking it. Now, obviously, this depends where you live as well, because different areas have different types of water.
Different water tables, aren't there? Different water tables in different parts of the country.
So I started with the basic water jug with the filter. And now I've moved on to I have a large container, and I hold all the water in that, and I use the shungite crystals, which we have mentioned in videos before. I'm sure we might mention it again tonight, the power of shungite crystals, but there is more information on previous videos as well. If you wanted to look at that, there is one with a relationship with crystals and water that we did.
Yes, we did,
yeah, I have the shungite crystals in there, and that water source that I've got that I keep topped up will do for everything. And for me, I can taste the difference at 100%. And it's, again, you know, don't you? I think you know when you taste something if it's not right. You know something isn't as it should be. And when we talk about, a lot of people say, well, you shouldn't have water in plastic bottles. And it's not the actual water in the bottles. It's the plastic bottle. It's the plastic that's the problem. And say, for instance, using filter systems such as shungite can't be used in plastic bottles because it draws the chemicals out. So it's not actually, I don't feel the actual water in the bottle. It's the bottle. It's the container.
It's actually the light. The light penetrates and can activate over time. Activates the plastic, and that can then contaminates into the water. So if anybody is drinking or a lot of water out of bottles, try using glass bottles.
Try using
plastic.
Yeah, that's. I do think it's important to put that out there. Of course, follow your feelings, but we feel glass bottles, and if you're investing in a bottle, you know, to take your water with you, which is always a good idea. You know, to have water on the go. How many of us go somewhere long? You know, we're going out somewhere, and we go, I'm so thirsty, and that can be a way of getting out of our system of drinking plenty of water, and then we end up stopping somewhere, maybe drinking something that's not so good for us. So it's good to have a bottle on the go, and there's so many available now, and you can get glass bottles. And I know everybody's probably thinking, oh my God, a glass bottle, I'm going to drop it and it'll smash everywhere. But there are bottles now with, coverings, and they're quite safe, and that is the way to go. I certainly feel, off everything I've ever heard and seen, that carrying your own water in a glass container is really good, and you can take that wherever you're going, and then you're keeping your water intake consistent throughout the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what'd be great as well now, just so we talked a little bit about glass bottles, plastic bottles, tap water. But again, I just want to go back to the importance of water, and it should be very effortless to people. And really it's about getting, and what I call devote your rituals, your daily rituals, by incorporating water. And really once you sort of devote your time and the energy by incorporating water into your diet, it should become effortless. It should become natural. And we're also, a lot of people will say, well, I drink a lot of tea, I'll drink a lot of coffee, I'll drink a lot of pop. And really, that's not a substitute to drinking water. So what we are saying in our talk is drinking water in its pure form.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because a lot of people, we've been asked this before now, say, well, I drink herbal tea and that's water. There's water in my tea. Well, no, it isn't really in its purest form there, is it?
No, absolutely not. So really the benefits of drinking water and the importance of drinking water is very, very important. And actually the body, what's really, really interesting, the body doesn't actually know the difference between being hungry and being dehydrated. So many times before you open the fridge and say, I'm hungry, or you go in the cupboard and have a bag of crisps or a chocolate bar or a sandwich or a tin of soup, just try to observe that maybe your body is thirsty before it needs food. So the body actually needs more fluid than it actually does eating through food. And I want to say as well, there about what we call nutrition and minerals, about the importance of minerals, and that's why often we try to incorporate Celtic salts and the importance of salts with water, and that's where mineral water, a lot of plastic bottles, mineral water will contain important minerals that are essential for the kidneys, for the liver, for the body functions. So what we are saying is if you are able to start drinking from 1 to 3 liters of water today, what we don't want to happen is we don't want the water to dilute and flush out the important minerals that your body needs, particularly if you don't have a particular good diet. So don't try to use water as a substitute to lose weight or a substitute not to eat any food. Water should be working towards your nutrition, your daily nutrition, and the nutrition that you eat into your diet, the minerals and the vitamins. And that's why something that we've always promoted at the Purple Mountain Health and Wellbeing Clinic is that the minerals, in my opinion, are probably even more important minerals than vitamins. There's such a surge in the promotion of vitamins in your health and well-being, and actually it's the minerals that are, in my opinion, even more important. So what kind of minerals we're talking about here? Sodium, magnesium, potassium, manganese, this iron. There's loads of essential minerals that are essential for the health and well-being and basic function of the body. And that's why even within our Cambo treatments, when people fast, when they fast before a treatment, we try to incorporate electrolytes which contain amount of minerals into the water. So whatever you are flushing out the body, that has to be replaced, and that is really, really important. You have to replace those minerals that you take. I know sometimes people will take mineral supplements. They are good, but nothing is better than eating vegetables, fruits, nuts, things like that will feed your physical body with those essential minerals. So don't go to Holland and Barrett's or to Health Shop and replace your basic diet to supplements and vitamins that really can be taken in the everyday diet. So what I want to say and I'll pass on back on to Chris there, is that tap water doesn't contain those essential minerals. Those minerals are more contained in mineral water. So there's pros and cons in both aspects of incorporating water into your diet. So what's your thoughts on that, Chris?
I just want to pick up on something Jay Patel just asked there, which is what about boiling water then drinking it?
Well,
what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, boiling water is a good method of what we call sanitizing the water from impurities, because sometimes there will always be impurities that will come through, and yeah, it's a good technique. Some people will boil water, but in my opinion, I wouldn't boil water of the mineral water, bottled water that you use. I can't say there is a positive or a negative. And that's why really I wanted to incorporate not just water in today's talk, but also the importance of minerals. And that's why we incorporate things like Celtic salt and Himalayan salts as part of your diet, because it contains high levels of the essential minerals that your body needs. So boiling water, yeah, it's good. It's good, but not always essential, in my opinion. It's not always needed, no.
Yeah, so I feel, it's very interesting what you said there, Stephen, and minerals, which is the point, because I feel more people have clicked onto this in the last few years, probably including ourselves. At one time, we were focusing on vitamins, and it's actually the minerals and that intake, making sure our bodies are absorbing everything good that water has to give to us nutritionally. But also there's some simple basic facts here, which is there is a lady actually called Barbara O'Neill that we found very, very inspirational. We'd love to have a chat with her. Actually, I've emailed her a few times. But she does a few videos on this, and the discussion about a high percentage of headaches can often be caused by dehydration. So before, my advice is anybody suffering, if you're suffering from a headache or you get a headache, before you reach for that paracetamol or a painkiller, try having some water first, a couple of glasses of water. And also it can greatly ease joint pain as well. That dehydration of the body can affect us in so many ways. So that importance of keeping our body drinking plenty of water is very important to our well-being in so many ways. And I feel that the industry of, as we say, we're not talking politics, but we've got to be honest. And in this world, certainly within probably the last 30 years, maybe a bit more, the sort of explosion of pop and cordials and fruit juices and things that go into drinks. So you find when we go back to water, we go, oh, there's no taste. There's no taste. Because we're that used to that over sugared and everything else, that flavour. And I know a lot of people actually with children now who actually, they drink just water, which I find very inspirational. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean something that I just want to pick up on there, what you said there as well, which we've not really discussed, is that, and it's quite of a controversial topic really, is a lot of the sort of concern of fluoride in the water. And I think that's where I think spiritually we know that over too much fluoride can what we call calcify the pineal and the pituitary gland. Now, there's a lot of scientific research out there that does try to prove the overfluoride. I know that fluoride was put in water to strengthen teeth and to help sort of bones and nails and hair and things like that. But also what we try to sort of instill at the Purple Mountain is that if you look after yourself and you have a good diet and you drink water and you incorporate minerals and vitamins, and there isn't always a need to add these unnatural chemicals into the body, when really when it comes to health and well-being, that harmony and that balance should be a very natural and organic process. It doesn't have to be forced upon. And I think it proves, I feel that over the past 50 years in particularly in the fruit and vegetable industry and the mass production of products, the nutritional value is greatly decreased, which is probably why there is such a need, if you will, of supplements such as minerals and vitamins into your diet, because they're so poorly grown now and so quickly grown in a very unnatural way to grow. And that's why something we try to teach here is to eat organically, eat things that are in season, and most importantly, grow things at home. Everybody can grow something at home and share things that you grow with one another. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, somebody's just commented there about having honey, lemon, and fresh ginger in water at the beginning of the day, which is great. But I would advise anybody that the first drink of the day should be a glass of water. And what that does, especially with those out there who suffer from stomach problems, that will strengthen the lining of your stomach for what's to come in the day as well. So if you can just start the day, your first drink of the day being a glass of water, not juice or tea or coffee, but it being a good glass of water, a good intake of water, that's very good.
Actually, just going a little bit more in depth there, if you don't mind me sort of mentioning that when, again, dehydration, we all suffer from dehydration. So if anybody listening tonight and listening to this video feels at any point of today or yesterday or the day before that you feel that you were thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So what we are saying to you is that don't wait to be thirsty. So when you are dehydrated, one of the first organs that what we call preservation of water. So the body will then take away water from non-essential organs, such as, that's why Chris mentioned about headaches, and that's why we will often advise people the first thing you should drink is a pint of water first thing in the morning. It's because your stomach lining is made of hydrochloric acid, and 90% of that hydrochloric acid is made of water. So when you're dehydrated, the first thing that's going to go, the lining of your stomach.
Yeah.
And you can rebuild that lining of the stomach by drinking a pint of water and just creating that extra layer of protection. And you find a lot of people that have stomach problems are dehydrated. Even when we do a lot of massage work at the Purple Mountain, at the Health and Wellbeing Clinic, and we look, just the moment I touch somebody's skin, I can tell they're dehydrated. And also what we call lower back problems. Your lower back between the sacrum joint, your hip joint, and your upper lumbar part contains nearly over 60-70% of water. So when you're dehydrated, the body is going to take away the essential water from these areas, and will push it to essential organs such as kidney, liver, brain, pancreas, where the water is needed. So dehydration is not being thirsty. There's things going off in your body, and also I want to add as well a little bit of a fact here is that you're already, what you're drinking today, you're already drinking for tomorrow. And just the fact that your kidneys alone, of the magnificent job it does to filtrate the blood and to absorb the nutrients and minerals that you take in, that's a big job. So your kidneys have got an important job. So the kidneys would need, on an average day, 0.5 liters of water a day. That's just your kidneys. That's just your kidneys alone. So when you're reflecting and saying, well, I'm only having 2-3 glasses of water a day, yes, you do get some nutrition. You get some water from fruit and vegetables and the food that you eat, but it's not a substitute to drinking water. So you are already drinking for tomorrow. So what you're drinking today, you are drinking for tomorrow. So it's important. So all these things we're trying to share with you, to be a little bit more mindful, and really our aim today's talk is to inspire you to be a little bit more conscientious, and by incorporating water a little bit more. So I want to ask you, Chris, what is your daily water regime? How do you
regime? It makes it sound very organized when you use the word regime.
What do you do to encourage yourself to drink more water?
Well, I can tell you, I'm going to couple it in, and I'm going to. It might be more interesting for those listening if I say how it's changed over the years. When I was in my previous work, I would probably have. I clicked on quite early it'd be about 4 years ago, so having water in the morning. And I would drink water on its own, but I don't think I'd drink it in the amount needed. And plus, on top of that, I would be drinking perhaps coffee. I would perhaps have two, maybe three some days. That, as we know, sort of works against it, dehydrating you in many ways. So that would have been my general way. And then I moved away from that. I've never really drunk water out of bottles, only when I've needed to on the go. And then basically that progressed onto having a water container and having my water bottle, and I carry my own water wherever I go. But basically, I get up in the morning, I have just about 100 pint of water, I'd say. Some days I have a couple of glasses of water. And throughout the day, I try to consistently drink water. And that doesn't mean I'm there like, guzzling away, but I'll have it where I am. And I feel that's important. Always have a glass of water around if you're at home doing something, because I find it so easy. You could be doing a little bit of work on your computer or reading a book, whatever you like to do. And a few hours are gone and you've completely forgotten. And then you become dehydrated without you realizing. And you don't want your body to get to a stage where you're like, oh my God, I need a glass of water, guzzle, guzzle. Because it's in a way, it's too late, if that makes sense. So I try to drink consistently throughout the day. And I actually take a glass of water to bed with me at night at the side. And I keep it there in case I need it, in case I wake up in the night. I don't know if anybody else had experienced this, and you can be very, very dry. And of course, most of us think, well, I'm not getting out of bed to go and get a glass of water. But if you've got one there, and also I have a bowl of water in not only my bedroom but also my living room as well, to keep the room hydrated as well. So actually, especially this time of year, we've all got our central heating on. Everything, our skin's dry with it. So that's my regime throughout the day. I don't always get it right. Some days I have to tell myself off because I know, and I think it's like with eating and anything else. If you get onto drinking water as you should, when you've had a day and you think, not drunk enough water today. Yeah. So that's my thoughts. But my advisement is, like with anything, if you don't feel you've not drunk enough in the day, or even now, don't go and run to the tap and drink 3 pints of water in the go, because I don't believe that's good for the body either. You're almost shocking the body in a way. To consume something in such a small space of time. For me, it's like it's consistently keeping that water up throughout the day. No long gaps, keeping yourself well hydrated throughout the day. And so I don't know if you want to share yours as well, Stephen.
Yeah, what made me laugh there was, and probably when my partner's probably listened to this video, I've got this habit, maybe a bad or good habit, maybe. I end up using about 10 glasses every day. Every time I go to the tap, I put my glass down and I get another glass. It encourages me to drink lots of water. But yeah, I've tried all sorts of things. But then I'm going back to how I started this discussion tonight was intention. And Chris made a point there. It's a gentle reminder. We're only human beings. When we're busy, we forget, we stumble, we fall. We're not saying to you, to everybody that's listening, that we are perfect in our devotion to water. But it's practice. Devote your time. Believe the importance of water and drink. And our relationship with water is important, because remember, the body is 70-80% of the body is made of water. So our relationship with water is important. But my regime and devotion to water has changed a lot, and only is strengthened in my feeling. And I don't know how you feel, Chris, particularly when we started the medicine work, when we began fasting and understanding our relationship with food and water more and how important it was. So I felt that maybe I appreciated water more. And it was almost, and it can be a very sacred ritual. It is a sacred ritual because it's a life force. It's one of the four main elements of this earth, and respect it as it respects you. So my regime in the very early beginning was I got in this bad habit of drinking lots of green tea. And I
I
thought,
remember
because,
this.
yeah, green tea, and I was just drinking 8 to 10 cups of green tea every day. And actually, that was dehydrating me, because what I was doing, I was flushing out all the minerals and the electrolytes of my physical body. And actually, that was that. And I was just going to the toilet all the time. And I'll probably talk shortly about how the cells work and how they function, because a lot of people have asked me, and I've asked Chris and our other therapists as well. I've started this change in water, but all I'm doing is going to the toilet. I'm just going to the toilet all the time. And it's because your body is missing important minerals, and we'll talk about that later on.
That's where the salt comes in, isn't it?
And that's where the salt comes in. So my regime is as follows. I have incorporated what we call Mirum glass, MIROM, and they are what we call purple glass bottles that you can buy on Amazon, eBay. They can range from £10 to £20. And what you do, you fill them up with water, you put them on the windowsill, you can even put them in the garden, and allow what we call a 4 cycle of light. It's actually the different spectrums of light. We're going quite deep here, actually. The different spectrums of light actually, the different spectrums of light actually does damage to the water. And what the Marum glass does, it blocks out, I think, 90% of the light spectrum, and it only allows certain light that will, what we call light activation, or using light to activate water. So it's really interesting subject. So anybody that really wants to do their own research. And actually, Chris, this technology was used by the ancient Egyptians. They were using it for aromatherapy. And this is why in some of the tombs, in some of the priests and some of the pharaohs, when they've opened the tombs and they've opened up some of the cosmetic stuff, you can still smell some of the aromatherapy, the scent, because of this container, because of the technology. So it's a very old technology. And the other thing is, you might laugh at me, but what's really encouraged me to drink lots of water is actually a soda stream machine that my partner brought. And it really encourages me.
I thought you were going to have a sponsorship sign come behind you then for a minute.
No, maybe.
You might get something sent to you now. A new soda stream.
Yeah,
anyway.
and it really encourages me and my partner to drink, and I can honestly say I can drink 2-3 liters of water every day. And I love the taste of sparkling water. I love the taste because it feels different. And what's really interesting as well, the advisement, is that we're only human. We all get bored sometimes.
Yes.
So really, and probably Chris can talk a little bit about his things that he does, because sometimes I know that you make your own herbal tea, is that try to be a bit spontaneous with your water. Try maybe adding a bit of lemon in your water, a bit of ginger in your water, and spice things up a little bit. Try mineral water.
Something that I like to do, and not with every glass, but maybe in the evening, is, or in midday, is I've got some lingonberry juice, and I get it pressed and organic, so there's nothing in it really that shouldn't be, and I put a little drop of that in the water. Very good for your liver and kidneys. And a little bit of cranberry juice, sometimes the same, pure cranberry juice, or just a little bit, or a slice of lemon sometimes. It's everything in moderation. I think we're learning this more and more, myself and Steve, and he got it absolutely spot on, saying we're not coming from a place where we get everything right. We're learning, and we have our temptations as well. But you have to also go with your gut feeling, because our bodies are all different. So our bodies will call for different things. I might say, well, I like lemon in water sometimes, and I know for a fact I know quite a few people who really don't like it. So this is where we can give this advisement, but listen to your body, because your body will tell you what you need. It will let you know.
Oh, you're absolutely spot on there, and it's something that I'm writing about in some of my in my new book that I'm writing, and that is listening, learning to listen to the body. And when you are ill, when your body's in a diseased, uneased state, you've got to what we call track back. So you've got to ask yourself, when did I stop listening to the body? You don't suddenly become ill. So really, when we talk about health and well-being, track back, ask yourself, where did I stop listening? So it's about reconnection, listening back to the body, and that's what it's about. But like what Chris said, absolutely spot on. Listen to the body. The body speaks to you. Body speaks to you.
Kenny's just asked us a question here, and he says he drinks lots of water with lemon, limes, and stuff like kale. Well, good stuff, Kenny. That definitely, especially the kale. But do you think sometimes I need a day off from it? And what I would ask straight away, I'm going to turn the question on you. Do you feel you need a day off from it? Because that's the question, and you'll know when. Oh, do you know what? I'm just going to drink water on its own today. Or I don't need that today. So what we said, just listen to your body, listen to your intuition.
Well, I want to sort of turn heads here and say to Kenny, to anybody listening and reading this question, is when you're ill and you track back on those 2 days that you drink enough water, you might have maybe questioned. So really, my advisement is keep yourself into a routine, drink enough water every day. It shouldn't be a chore. It should be a natural process. It is your body doesn't need a day off. Do you think the kidneys will say? I'm laughing about it because I'm Chris's kidneys, and I say, "Well, Chris, you can have a day off today. You can have a day off tomorrow."
Well, I think he meant, to be fair, I think he meant on the extras. A day off from having the extras in the water and just having plain water.
Oh wow, yeah.
But you still make a very good point anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to put Kenny in a difficult position there, but
he said he knew I was going to say that anyway. Yeah, you're a very good psychic, Kenny.
So really, yeah, it's trusting your intuition, and it's something that I do as well. Is that I will make my own tonics. I make my own powder tonics, and I will be guided by my physical body, what my physical body needs, and I will take tonics for 2-3 weeks and have a bit of a break and get back to it.
It's interesting you say that, Stephen, because I know you're taking something similar, but at the moment, my last drink of the day, water, I put some wheatgrass powder in.
Oh, absolutely.
And wheatgrass powder is an excellent one, and in terms of health and well-being, it can require a lot of investment. You know, it can be expensive, but it's a good investment. But wheatgrass powder is not too bad. I mean, you're looking at about £10, and you can get quite a big bag that can last you a long time, and it's excellent for you, wheatgrass powder.
Oh, absolutely. So I just want to talk a little bit on the sciencey side. I don't want to go too deep.
Yes. I thought you were going to put your glasses up then before you do it.
That's it now. So I just want to mention to everybody as well that there are billions of cells, what we call cells within your physical body. So there is this ignorant view in the community. I talk about in the whole humanity that all you need to do is just drink water and that's it. And unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. And that's why we keep saying the relationship between minerals and water is powerful, is important. So each cell has what we call a cell membrane. So as a cell membrane, and within the cell membrane, there is what we call a motor. You can just imagine a little motor. And each cell contains water. So you got your body cells, and each cell needs to be hydrated. So each cell needs to come from outside the cell wall into the center of the cell in what we call the nuclei, or the nucleus of the cell. Now, the importance of magnesium and the importance of potassium and sodium play a very important role in pushing the water molecule into the nuclei, into the cell membrane. So it seems quite complicated, but very easy, very simple analogy. You need the minerals to push the water into your cell. Hence, your body contains of billions, maybe even trillions of cells. So you need magnesium, you need potassium, you need sodium, chloride. You need all these important minerals to push the water molecule into the cell membrane, to hence being hydrated. So when doctors say, and I see this all the time, and I'm not a doctor, do your own research. That when doctors say, particularly people with high blood pressure, and what happens with people with high blood pressure is that what happens is that with the overuse of sodium, which is often found in bleach salt, with that very white salt, what's happened there is that the manufacturing companies have watered down the salt, and all the essential minerals have been washed away. So what you're left with is sodium. Sodium on its own is extremely poisonous to the physical body, which hence causes high blood pressure. So yeah, doctors are right. Too much salt is bad for your physical body, but the right salts, and that's why we promote Celtic salt, because Celtic salt is for me a little bit better than Himalayan salt. Himalayan salt and Celtic salt contain similar amount of minerals, but I found that Celtic salt in our research and the scientific research proves that there's more elements of magnesium. And that's why when you buy Celtic salt, it's very wet, because magnesium is a water-hungry molecule. And it's great to pull the water into your cells. And that's why magnesium is an essential element for life. We need sodium, we need chloride, we need magnesium, potassium. They're important minerals for the physical body. Our cells require it, if that makes sense to everybody. So a little bit there on the science side, that tried to incorporate electrolytes, incorporate Celtic salts and Himalayan salt. If you can't get hold of Celtic salt, incorporate Himalayan salt into your diet, because water and minerals have a strong relationship for the cells, for your liver, for your kidneys, for your brain, for your skin is essential. And I know that I'm going to ask Chris this a little bit of a question. So when we talk about hydrotherapy, and hydrotherapy is just using water as a therapy treatment plan, and actually a lot of the Victorians started the modern version of the hydrotherapy. So what kind of salt regimes do you use? Because I know that you use a lot of salts in baths, don't you? In your bath.
Yeah, I like using salts in baths, because I find again a lot of the chemicals that are in a lot of soaps we use that really aren't good. They dry our skin out, can cause skin complaints and irritations. And probably for a long time now, I like using Himalayan salt, Epsom hot salts, the little bit of Celtic salt. You can do a mix. You can do your own mixes and put little bits of rosemary, and you can put bits of frankincense. I mean, there's some really good salts out there now to purchase as well. I feel things are really turning around that way. You can get some, and quite affordable. So I use that. I tend to veer away from using anything that's too basically soapy, that's just there to dry your skin and your hair. So I believe like bathing with salts, Obviously, I use Celtic salt in my food as well. And what the interesting thing is, once you start using Celtic salt, you will find. Now, I've always loved salt in my food, but you will find you don't need as much. The taste is there. You're not adding and adding and adding. But I use the salts on my food, and also what I do from time to time, which is a very good energy booster, is putting a little bit of Celtic salt just on your tongue and then drinking a glass of water and letting it dissolve, and that is a natural energy booster, much better than a can of Red Bull, in my opinion. Yeah, just as a booster.
If anybody's drinking things like energy drinks, there's so much sugar in there, and actually sugar, in another fact, sugar actually dehydrates you. It actually dehydrates the body. So those that are actually drinking pop, any forms of pop, and I hear this excuse all the time. Well, it's diet pop. There's no sugar in it. There's still chemicals in there in all forms of pop, particular energy drinks that greatly dehydrate you. So with every can of pop you're drinking, you're dehydrating your body of a glass of water already.
Just another thing for sort of general complaints that we can get, things like sore throats, mouth ulcers, swilling your mouth out with Celtic salt in some lukewarm water, you will find very, very quickly eliminates anything like that. Very quickly. So I highly recommend that. Also, I don't know if you can do the same with Himalayan salt. In truth, maybe Stephen will know more than me on that one. But I use Celtic salt predominantly.
Oh, absolutely. And I know Margaret's put on a comment there about her daily routine. Is incorporating some Celtic salt and putting a little bit of Celtic salt on your tongue. And actually, it's something that Barbara O'Neill, in one of her fantastic videos, taught me and taught the centre about incorporating Celtic salt and actually putting some Celtic salt on your tongue and allowing it just to settle on your tongue and having a glass of water. And actually, that boosts. So instead of having a chocolate bar during the day when you feel your energy's dropping, put a bit of Celtic salt on your tongue and have a glass of water. And actually, that. Yeah. And I know on the science side that is very good for your kidneys, because normally when you are yawning, so if anybody's listening tonight that are yawning, that feel very tired during the day, it's most likely what you see in Chinese medicine, your kidneys are your batteries, and your kidneys need constant feeding and maintaining. So when you're tired and when you yawn, it means your kidney chi is depleted. And it needs refeeding. So you need to add maybe detoxify and cleanse your kidneys. So there's lots of herbal teas out there, tonics out there that will do that will help flush out any impurities, because your kidneys your kidney walls during the filtration system can also hold a lot of toxins. And again, a little bit what Kenny was saying earlier on, what we're saying to Kenny's question, you've got to give your body that break. So, and that's why I don't always recommend this, but I know that people do sometimes fast, what we call water fasting, and all they do is drink 2 or 3 liters of water with electrolytes, and they don't eat any food for 3 days, and that's quite healthy. So, but
that's happening quite a lot. There's quite a few good documentaries, but obviously we don't recommend that unless you've spoke to somebody who does that work, who specialises and under somebody's care, basically, with that one, so they can keep an eye on you and advise you.
Spot on. I'd like to add there as well a little bit what you were saying there, Chris, when you were talking about your regime with salt and bathing with salt, and also salt can be used as a good exfoliator.
Yes.
It exfoliates the skin. And no, it's I've experienced this before. You know, it can be quite harsh on the skin, but your skin will feel so radiant and fantastic once you've had that, using pure salts and with essential oils and oils that will sort of remove that dead skin and encourage the hydration.
No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. But I like to add a little bit about, has everybody heard what we call the pH scale, which basically means the potential of hydrogen. That's what the pH scale means. So we all know the scale from being very acidic, and you'll find that females anatomy, their pH leans towards more acidity, and actually males lean towards more of the alkaline. And sometimes actually being too alkaline, and that's where water is very good, that balances the pH scale. And the pH scale is affected by the chemicals and the hormones of your physical body and how it maintains and how it grows. And that's where the importance of water and drinking enough water actually balances the pH scale in the physical body. But like I said before, sometimes having too much of an alkaline physical body is not always good, and actually can do more liver damage. So that's why, and you can actually buy, and I do this quite regularly, you can actually buy what we call pH strips, and you actually urinate on it, or you can put one underneath your tongue, and actually you can see where your pH falls onto the pH scale. So, and they cost about $5, and you get about 100 little strips, and you can get them on eBay and Amazon. And we do that sometimes at the Health and Wellbeing Clinic at the Purple Mountain. We try to have a look at your pH, and we find personally that people that drink more water or have a better relationship with water have a better pH within the physical body. So it would be interesting. So anybody that wants to maybe know a little bit about what their pH is, then get yourself some strips and you can test your pH and incorporate water and see if your pH increases. Because actually too, acidity is, in my opinion, is what can creates an environment for disease, for illness and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so what's your thoughts there?
My thoughts is what you're talking about. What always has to be remembered, whatever you're talking about, in any areas of work, physically, spiritually, it's balance. You have to have balance, and it's very important. And listening to your body, that's been mentioned tonight. But water is absolutely fundamental, and you see more and more people now carrying water and drinking water than I remember at the moment. But I hope we've given everybody this evening a little bit of food for thought. That's what's important. That's what these talks are all about, to inspire, and we're learning. So we could do this same talk in 6 months' time, and it might be completely not different, but different in a way of we'll know more by then. It's always important to keep learning. So I hope everybody's enjoyed the talk this evening. I'm sure everybody's now going to run for a glass of water as soon as we've finished. water. And we just want to thank everybody for watching these videos and supporting us. And let us know maybe what you'd like to see. We're open to suggestions. We're going to keep going. We're an official podcast. So anybody who has Spotify, which is free, there is a free version which you can get hold of, and you can listen to us on the go when you're doing a run, or when the gyms reopen, or when we're getting out and about. And also you can listen to us here on Facebook. That's not changing. Or you can listen to us on YouTube as well. So many different ways. But interesting with the what we'll be doing on Spotify as well, for all those listening. We will be adding some transmediumship philosophy and demonstrations from many of our teachers over the years. So that might be interesting for those who wish to tune in and listen to that. But from myself and Stephen, I want to say thank you very much. As always, it's been a pleasure sharing this space with everybody. Stay true to yourself, stay strong and positive, drink lots of water, and look after yourselves, listen to your body. And we'll speak to you very soon.
Just a quick thing. When's our next video, Chris? Is it on Monday?
Yeah, our next one is on Monday with Rob Tweedy. We'll be speaking with Rob, who's a medium, and we'll be doing speaking about Rob's journey, and we'll be doing some messaging together as well.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So have a great night, everyone, whatever you're doing with it. And we'll see you
Good night.
soon. Bye
Good night.
bye.
God bless. Thank you.